Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Newcastle United 1, Everton 2. Second win on the road in the Premier League for the Blues. And a much deserved 3 points. I thought we were excellent. I thought we had a couple of little wobbles during the game, which is what happens when you play away. But we withstood them and we got through. Controlled the latter stages of the game and got the 3 points.
Yeah, big win. To win 2 games in 48 hours is a massive thing. It took us 4 games to get that many wins this season, so to get 2 in 2 days was great. But you're right. It was an excellent performance, excellent win. Difficult place to go against a team that had only lost once at home, and that was on the opening day. And having to change the team as well and stuff like that. And we've been frail on the road, let's be honest.
Soft.
And we looked like, we kind of looked like we knew what we were doing, apart from the opening 45 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. We knew what we wanted to do, and we did it. We had a plan and we executed it. And some football matches will not always go your way. The opposition will always have chances, and that happened. And he had to make changes. He said he was going to make changes. And again, it goes back to something we were talking about 12 months ago. In the previous regime, when we played Burnley on the Boxing, we beat them 5-1 and we were all buzzing. We were all on a high. And then we went to Brighton and got beat 1-0 with a poxy goal. But I think he made like 1 or 2 changes in that game. Because he was trying to keep the momentum, because he didn't feel like he had the players. Whereas the first thing Ancelotti said after the Burnley game was, I'm going to have to make changes. There's no way these players can play another game. And it was interesting the way that he looked at that straight away. And I don't know whether that's the experience of having played over Christmas, because actually I don't think Marco Silva had actually ever played over Christmas as a manager, had he? In the Premier League.
He had at Watford. Yeah, just because he lost his job in January. But he'd only had 1 go at it, hadn't he? Yeah. And he even said himself it surprised him last year. So.
And I think straight away Ancelotti understood that it takes fresh bodies. You can have better players, but if you don't have fresh bodies, then it doesn't really matter.
That experience, isn't it? He's done everything. So even if it isn't the Christmas period, it's the fact of the accumulation of games. We had 3 games in a week, but 2 within a couple of days of each other. So it's having that experience, and he was adamant, wasn't he? After Burnley, he just said, "I'm making changes," and we all knew.
And again, though, that's decision making. That's sticking to your guns. And you made some. He brought the likes of Leighton Baines in, Michael Keane in, Tom Davis into midfield.
Keane up front.
Yeah, and left out the likes of Yerry Mina, the likes of
Luca
Dean. Players, very important, experienced players. Delph would only just come back into the side. So we made big decisions, and ultimately they all worked. They paid off. We got 3 points. Rotated the squad, got fresh legs into the squad. So for the next game when we play Man City, there'll be lads available to come in with a bit more freshness, and again maybe the same for the FA Cup derby on Sunday. And it's that kind of thinking, that it's not radical, it doesn't take a genius, but I think like it's that measure of control, isn't it, that if you stick a team out and they listen to what you say and they execute it to the best they can, then you've got a good chance of getting the result that you want.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is when you've got a manager who people believe in.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about fans as well. You've got someone who can front it all up. Then decisions. I know it shouldn't really matter to like the players and the manager, because they're doing their job. But even just the reception of those decisions, like with the crowd, like if Marco Silva would have tried to make them changes, people, I think, would have questioned, what's Michael Keane coming in for, or what's he coming in for? Whereas you kind of just go, oh yeah, like the manager's made them, because there's the trust there, and he's earned that trust from his career. Do you know what I mean? And the players kind of look at it and go, oh yeah, he knows what he's on about, he's resting me or whatever.
And I think that's quite telling. I've seen a couple of interviews already, and there's one with Sigurdsson. And Sigurdsson basically says in the interview, we'll do whatever he asks us to do.
Coleman said the same thing.
Carlo Ancelotti will,
when he speaks, we listen.
But where I thought it was more interesting, Sigurdsson basically said, didn't have that before.
Yeah.
Like, the last manager, we'd sort of stopped. Like, well, actually, it sort of, from, you read between the lines of what he said was, we didn't believe what he was telling us. We didn't trust what he, and that's the difference, and I think that's where Marco Silva went wrong, is that the players just didn't buy into what he wanted. And with this fella, I think straight away the respect's there, you can see it. And the things that, listen, I know it's only been 2 games, but the way he carries himself and the way that he has spoken about, like, Duncan and things like that, and how important his spell at the club was, and how the players obviously got behind Duncan as well, and obviously appreciated and believing in him. And it's all those little things. But most importantly, it's Carlo Ancelotti. He walks into a room and he exudes control straight away. And we felt that when we went to the press conference. That calmness, but that control. He controlled the whole room. You know, when he said things.
If you're a footballer, no matter what, it's like anything, isn't it? It's like probably any job that people do. If your boss can't be questioned, and I don't mean everyone can be questioned, of course they can, I don't mean it like that. What I mean is, if their experience can't be called into question, like, you might not always make a decision you agree with, of course you won't. It's football, and you won't, all the people won't agree. But someone like Marco Silva, he's an up-and-coming coach, and he's 6-7 years older than some of our players. He hasn't got this big CV that he's won stuff. So when he's trying to get points across to you, there will be a time where, if it's not working, you then start just going, well, what's this fella ever done? What's this fella ever done? You've got to have the charisma as a manager. You've got to be able to get that. You've got to be able to have that control, like you say, across to your players, that you know exactly what you're doing. If you're stood there having won all sorts, what can they say to you? No one can go, he doesn't. I said this the other day, from fans as well. No one can say he hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know what he's doing. Because that kind of argument is nonsense. Because quite clearly he does know what he's doing, and he's won all sorts. So it's difficult to argue with. So I think as a player, you're sat there, this fella comes in, or in any job, this fella comes in who's decorated, knows things, you're likely to go, well, I believe what he says.
I think as well, we've hit the ground running. He hasn't gone in there and said, right, we'll just do this for this period. He's like, we're doing this from day one. Which is really, really...
And he's built on what Duncan created, which is good. Which is the work ethic.
Listen, you mentioned before, we obviously started the game a bit shakily. They had an opportunity very, very early on. Almiron got
40 seconds
in a one-on-one with Michael Keane. I suppose from the position Michael Keane was in, he actually did all right to sort of put him off. No, I know, but he did actually. He did enough to just put him off without it being a foul. But then we took control of the game after that, and I think that was what was most, again, the interesting thing was we got hold of the ball and we got control, and with the way we played, with the...
Played a 4-2-4 really.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
If you look at the positions of the players, though, it's
lots
weird,
of different...
because you left... Leighton Baines was a left winger.
Well, I think the way he's done it in both games is that it can go into a back four and then it can swing into a back three, and whatever full back is gone, the other one comes around and makes it a four, and always looking for those overloads, and then with the pace up front, we're looking to get one-on-one, and we did that a lot in the first half, and obviously we got the breakthrough with... we had a really good pressure, and actually Holgate had a shot.
Keeper made a good save.
Made a good save, and then Michael Keane heads. To be honest, it's an absolute sitter. He should be burying that in the back of the net. Heads it onto his own arm, onto his own shoulder, goes out, he gives a corner. But then the ball it went out, and then it was a free kick. It was a blatant free kick. It wasn't a good free kick. Knocked it back into the box, and then it's a good finish by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It is a really good finish actually if you watch it slowly. And 1-0 up, kept that control, but we did that thing that we do far too often, where we have loads of control, but we don't actually do anything with it. We did it at Southampton as well. We have loads of control, but we just don't do anything with it. And I think they just got a couple of like little marginal things went for them, didn't he? And it got the crowd up, and then they come back into the game in the back end of the first half. But I thought we dealt with it quite well. Pickford had to make one shot from Shard, I think it was.
Good save.
They had one disallowed for offside, which the lad had actually done really well on the outside. I think he left Wolkoff for dead, didn't he? I think he done really well.
Was offside, same as Holt.
Oh yeah, it was offside. Yeah. But it was a good move for them. And it was just in that moment where it was just back to the wall, wasn't it? And we had to dig in those moments, and it's those moments where you see where the character is, I think.
Yeah, the opening half an hour, we were insulted. I think we were at 82% possession at one stage in the game, which was mad. We'd had a couple of opportunities to maybe get a second. Moise Keane got in round the back and cut one back for Walcott. And he should have gone across the keeper. He went back to where it come from. He used his left foot.
What, the corner flag? That's where it was going.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know why he went that way. It should have been swept into the other corner. And we'd had a couple of things where we'd looked like we'd on a good break and we'd played the wrong pass or whatever, which again had been born out of good football and getting us in round the back, and it was just the wrong decisions. Walcott had fizzed a great ball across the box and no one gambled, and it was just a couple of those moments where it was like, if we'd have made that run, we'd have scored. And then Andy Carroll started getting into the game. Thought he had a decent game.
Good game, Andy
for
Carroll.
Newcastle, he was a handful. They had that one that fizzed over from Hayden, and it just got their crowd up. And it's when their crowd are up, it's a tough place to play. And we had to ride it out, and we did. We got a little bit of control towards the end of the last couple of minutes of the first half and calmed it down. And we went in 1-up, and Pickford had only really had that save to make from Shah, and it was a good save, good strike, and it was a good save. And so we went in 1-0 up and thinking, that's been all right, for an away game. Yeah. They've only had really 10 minutes, and it was good. It was a good spell for them, but no one would Everton like away from home. But we were 2-0 up there last year. To
be fair, the half time come at the right time for us, because we came out second half and we did really well.
Got hold of it again.
Got hold of the game again. Obviously, did had a couple of words. And again, we had chances again. Moise Keane had a couple of really good opportunities, and he should have put one away. I think personally, I think he should have scored.
I think the one where he saves with his chest, I think he can't do any. He's on the stretch, and he done well to get there. I think the other one, when he went on the run and ran across the box, he should have hit it back into the far corner, which might have caused him a problem. He didn't hit it straight, but he looked lively. He looked like a threat at the weekend, and some games he hasn't. I think playing up front with Dom helps as well. And I think you could see that, whatever Ancelotti said to him, and maybe just having someone who can speak his language, first and foremost, has given him that little bit of confidence. He had a little bit more arrogance about him. And I thought he worked quite hard. He doesn't still look fit enough.
No. We'll talk more about Dom and Richarlison. Yeah. But, before we mention Nigel, but you're right, because we're getting more numbers into the box. And that's been one thing in both games. It's been one thing since Duncan came in, to be honest, is just getting more players, committing more players, getting players closer to each other.
Well, how long have we said for ages, when we break, there's 2 men in that. So every cross has got to be perfect, otherwise it's easy to defend against. And now, you're seeing numbers.
Well, it's mad, isn't it? Because for so long we bemoaned the fact of who we had in our centre midfield, and it can't work because of this or that, or no one's going, or we look too slow. You've got Tom Davis and Snidling and Sigurdsson in there, and there's not much pace. Not much pace between them, and yet it's the other players, it's the movements, it is the fullback on whichever side pushing forward and making that extra man, and then Richarlison coming through the middle, and then Moise Keane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and
Dom's getting in better positions.
And then that allows Sigurdsson and Tom Davis in this game to just sit in front of the back four, because everyone else is going, and it just shows what a couple of tactical tweaks can what difference it can do. Someone else coming in and with fresh eyes and seeing the way they want to play with all that experience. And I think it's just been so interesting to see how a manager who's probably been through every scenario you can go through and played with all kinds of different sets of players, and had big teams. But let's not forget, like, Napoli weren't it. I know they're playing the Champions League, but they're not a massive club.
No.
There's still they face the same pressures we sort of face, and it's understanding how you've got to beat teams with better players, or not even better players, just in different scenarios. And I thought, again, Saturday was a really good illustration of that.
I think it's all worked for once to our advantage. This whole situation, we had the defeat at Leicester, which was heartbreaking. Injury time, goal disallowed and then given, and that was obviously Marco Silva looked like a little boy crying on the side, rightly so. And then we had hammering at Anfield and we were all low as can be, and it was like, what's happening here? And I think what Duncan was able to do was remind the players that you have to actually work hard. That's your first thing. Forget about your ability. Go out and bloody your team's nose in the nicest possible way in terms of working so hard, pressing the ball, getting the crowd going, and he was managed to do that, and he kept that going at United, even though he was faced with less players with injuries, and even though we got beat by Leicester on pens, we showed resilience to come back. Arsenal just ran out of legs a little bit, but we were
ideas
still
maybe as well.
Yeah, again, lack of numbers and everything else. And Ancelotti's been able to then take that fact that we hard work, and he's probably said to the players, it's what you've done's brilliant. Everything he said to the press, realising he's talking to us and players will read it, is what Duncan done was fantastic, and the spirit of this team. And that players then think, well, he likes that as well. And then, like you say, then the tactical tweaks come. So you're getting it from a man who's so vastly experienced, has been there, done it. You've got Duncan, who at the weekend was up coaching, which he hadn't been allowed to, and him and Ancelotti are having talks, and mini Ancelotti's having, you can see them doing stuff. The players then think, well, everyone's together here. This big jock who's hard as nails and got us going is allowed his input. We've got this calm fella on this, just looks class, doesn't he? Italian. It all works, so everything they're probably instructing is like, seems to be coming to fruition. It's only early and we're not getting carried away, and we'll lose games, of course we will, without a shadow.
We're seeing why though.
At least we've got some momentum from somewhere.
I just look at the players on the pitch, and I just think, when you look at some of those players and where their careers were heading, and now suddenly they look revigorated because suddenly someone's gone, you were all crap, and but now you're working for Carlo Ancelotti. You've got a second chance at this now. And there's not much else. There's not, even if we brought players in, it would only be one or two. And there's players out, so you're all going to play. So you've all got to do your part. And I find that the most interesting part. And it's...
Can you work for one of the greatest managers?
Is your chance. It's like this. I was thinking about this over the weekend, and it's probably coming off the back of what was I watching? I was watching one of the games, and or it might even be an our game, continually talking about Richarlison going to Man United. Right? It was our game, yeah. And they're going on about it. The
big boys.
But I'm thinking to myself, that's all well and good. And players want to test themselves. But now you've got a chance to test yourself at Everton with a manager who's a Champions League manager. So straight away, it's not a case of and I just wonder to myself, from like Lukaku, if Lukaku had the chance to work with the Champions League manager at Everton, would that have convinced him to stay?
Possibly.
Do you know what I mean? Like those little, and that's what I'm saying about some of these players. I'm not saying some of these players wanted to go or didn't want to go or whatever. I'm just saying now.
He's come out and there's reports now that he wants to leave Italy because of the racism, so there's some...
No, but that's the point, isn't it? The point is that suddenly you've got players like Richarlison, and you've got players like the other end of it, someone like Sigurdsson, and you go, and you know what? You all thought, or some of you might think, you're Richarlison at one end of the scale thinking, oh, I've got Barcelona, I've got Real Madrid, maybe lining up, blah, blah, blah. And you've got someone at the other end, Sigurdsson, and you've got the same thing. You're working for this manager. If you're good enough to work for this manager, then that means you've got this validation there. Do you know what I mean? You've got validation that you're a good enough player, and you can help take Everton. And if you do like Everton, or you do love Everton, you've got a chance to do it. It's not this case of, I've got to move on for the sake of my career. Everton have brought a manager in to move you on, to move the whole club on. And I find that really interesting now, as we never had that before, where we were always crying out. And I think we said this last week, it's like, imagine a player going, I want to move now. It's like, well, okay, I understand why you might want to move, but we've done the thing you asked us to do. We've brought in a you're going to be working with a top quality manager, and we're going to give him all the tools to help you get to where you want to go. And I just think that's a really interesting dynamic now. People like Mason Holgate, Tom Davis, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you know, youngsters. John Joe Kenny out on loan. Is he going to be looking at the situation going, oh, I can't wait to get back there? Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of situation now where someone like Holgate, who was at West Brom last year on loan, is like now going, I'm working under Carlo Ancelotti. Like, all my Christmases have come all at once. I've got a chance to prove myself to one of the top managers in the world. I've got to grab this with two hands. And I think that's the most exciting thing for me, is like all these players. I can imagine, like, you know, Gabaman in the gym now, like, just like try and get me back as
Rocky
fast.
Music.
You know what I mean? Yeah, montages galore. you know, Snydden suddenly moves from being a sloth to having some kind of pace in him. No, players will be eager to want to impress this manager, and I think and take on board, because it is that thing of, isn't it? Of like, you always, you want to. You want to impress someone who's got the track record like he has. And I think we've seen that so far.
It's validation from someone who's validated, isn't it? Someone who's top of their game saying to you, you're very good at what you do. That's like a big... We all want to be loved in everything we do. We want people who we respect to say nice things about us. You know, if you're a good footballer and someone tells you you're a good footballer who you respect, you feel 10 foot tall, and we're seeing that with our players. I just started this book last night for him a couple of years ago when he was at Bayern Munich, and like the first part of it's all about business and managerial arcs and all, and so intelligent, the manager, and talking about it's difficult to keep players happy, you know, because the ones who aren't playing aren't happy, but you've got to have these relationships with them, and it's done quiet. You can be quiet, but you can be authoritative, and it's really interesting, a good insight into him. So I'm looking forward to reading the rest of that. But he talks about that, about making players believe, and rightly so, that his job is to make you the best player you can be, which means you can reach those highs where it's not about... And when it's the forward there's a couple of writers who do it. Mike Ford's one of them, and Chris Brady, I think, is the other one. Chris Brady talks about Ancelotti saying it's not about him. He doesn't make it about him. He makes it about you as the player. So you're a really good player. So like Dominic Calvert-Lewin,
I've seen that already.
You know, he's come out and said he can be one of the top strikers in Europe. He's saying to him, you've got all the tools there. Now I'm going to help you reach them. You're not going to help me to make me look great. I'm helping you to be the best. And if you've got that in that dressing room, and then players believe that. I've said all along, said it to you when you were flapping over relegation, right?
Whoa, hang on. I was flapping over relegation because of the manager.
No, my point, forget about the manager, my point was ability-wise of players. I mean, I said to you, the player we have in our squad is better than the majority in the Premier League, and I still stand by that. We've had 5 central midfield players injured. I defy Leicester, Wolves, Chelsea, Tottenham, United to have 5 players in a position out and still be where they are. Leicester wouldn't have a hope. They'd be halfway down. But we've got on with that. And if you now put those level of player in with a manager who knows exactly what he's doing, like Carlo Ancelotti, then hopefully then players will be able to rise to their ability. If they can't, this fella will say to Brands, imagine you're Marcel Brands, right, and you've got a picture of where you want the football club to go, and rightly so, because that's your job. That's what you paid a lot of money for. And you've got Marco Silva there, inexperienced, shall we say, manager, or not a lot of experience. And then you've got a fella who's won 3 champions, he's won 5 Champions Leagues, even including playing, hasn't he? So he's won everything, 20 trophies as a manager. And he says to this fella here who's inexperienced, goes, this player I don't think's good enough, and you're going, I've seen a lot of him, I think he's good enough, I think he can be. Or you've got a fella who's been there, done it, won it, going to, this fella isn't good enough. Yeah. You're going to listen to him, because the chances are he's worked with players like this. The players he listed who he's worked with is ridiculous. And so therefore, our players now, he's going to be making these decisions over the next 6 months on these players. And what he'll do is he'll weed out the ones he thinks can't help us. You can't get rid of everyone, of course you can't. We spent a lot of money. But there'll be ones where we've looked at and gone, you know, if we just had a little bit more, he'd be good. Like a Wobie. A Wobie, I think, has got loads of great qualities and he could be really important to Everton. Travels with the ball. This fella, go to him, listen, stop wasting your time in these areas and things like, you know, and people like Tom Davis, people have a go with Tom Davis. Well, if Carlo Ancelotti thinks he's good enough to play for Everton, then who's the fan from, you know, Fred from Bootle, who's in his Mars back room saying he's crap? You know what I mean? It just removes a lot of uncertainty going through, and I think that's the biggest thing that he's been able to do so far is get everybody on, seemingly on the same page. The fact, got a song for him.
Yeah,
he's been in charge.
No,
he's been in charge for 7 days at the time that he called.
No, it does. It feels a bit different, doesn't it? Now, obviously, Newcastle obviously got the equaliser. Was a soft free kick.
Yeah,
I've seen a few people saying it wasn't a free kick.
He left. Sigurdsson allowed him to do that, make that decision to go down.
It was Walcott, wasn't it?
Wasn't it Sigurdsson
when
he put his foot
it was Walcott, wasn't it?
Or was it Walcott?
Yeah, it was Walcott. He spun, he cut, and then he caught him.
Yeah,
and it was a free kick. It was a free kick.
No, it was.
It was a free
soft,
kick.
But it was a free kick.
But it was a free kick in this day and age.
Know what the biggest issue for me for their goal? Why was Sigurdsson marking Andy Carroll?
I don't know is the answer.
The best header of the ball.
I don't know is the answer, but I think what I'm presuming see, this is the thing. If you're going to start,
you show no marking, by the way.
I think that's what I was going to say. See, this is the problem. It's like I think we use zonal, and Andy Carroll just decided to move himself into a better area. And we probably put players in an area where we thought Andy Carroll was going to be, and Sigurdsson was at the back post. There has
to be some responsibility there.
No, but they can't be though. They can't. This is the thing. They can't. If you say you're going to play a system, you've got to play it. No, but you can't. You can't because you can't though. You can't start. You can't. No, you can't. You can't.
Because if yours, no, you can't.
You can't. If you start dicking it, no, because this is the whole top and bottom. If you start messing about, if your manager gives you instructions, it's down to him then. And if he makes a mistake, it's on the manager. The players can't start deciding amongst themselves because this is where we get problems.
Well, no, the problems we've got is because players didn't.
Well, no, it was Sigurdsson's zone.
No, but I'm saying...
Who would have beaten Carroll in the air? There was no one on the pitch.
Well, Michael Keane would have made... He's big, so he'd have made it more difficult.
But what you do, right, because, right, if you're playing zonal or you're playing man marking, Andy Carroll was looking for the space and Andy Carroll pulled off to the back post. So if you're Michael Keane and you've been told to man mark him, if Michael Keane then pulls out of a central area...
Sigurdsson should go in.
No, but that's the whole point.
No, but what I'm saying to you is that this is what undone Marco Silva. Right, is that players didn't react. Players stood where he told them to stand or where the zones were, right? And that was an issue. We got beat at Burnley for the same thing. We got beat at Burnley because our centre-back stayed on the 6-yard box and Tarkovsky went to the back. And
I know.
And Hendrick.
But the problem is, though, is that you can't start... Players can't start messing about. And if they've been told to play in certain areas...
One out, one in.
No, I know, but they don't. That's not how footballers work now, though. They don't work like that.
I know how zonal works.
No, I know, but that's not how footballers work, though. Footballers get given a task and they stick to it. And Carroll was just clever, and he pulled off. And then it's up to dealing with the second ball. And to be fair, the lad finishes it brilliantly. It's a brilliant finish. We all game basically allow Carroll to win a lot of headers.
You can win outside the box. You can allow him to win the header as long as you pick the second ball up. But inside the box, you have to be smarter than that. But because all that's saying is that every time you play against a big lad, he'll just put himself on the back post. If we're lining up with our biggest players in the centre of the 6-yard box where Keane was.
No, but then that comes down to whoever told them to be in those areas. Players can't start dicking around with systems. They get told to do... You have to... That's up to the manager beforehand to understand where Andy Carroll's going to be, and then say, right, we're going to do this. They obviously didn't. Andy Carroll just did what he wanted, and fair play. It was a good ball. And sometimes, what can you say? Sigurdsson was with him. Sigurdsson just couldn't
didn't even jump
because couldn't get up. It wasn't like the one with Burnley. The lad was on his own at the back post. There was no one marking him. Sigurdsson was with him. He just couldn't beat him in the air. Michael Keane couldn't beat him in the air. You are right. If Michael Keane had gone with him and at least challenges him, then I understand that. But it's whether Sigurdsson then understands whether to drop in and understand.
No,
and that's the
problem. Organisation, isn't it? Because zonal is about just having men there.
No.
So if you're going one out, one in, you can still keep your zone. You can still have the right bodies in the box. But you're right. But if players do.
But what if Carroll's looking at the situation and he's central, and then Carroll at the last minute just decides he's going to pull off? The problem with that is then if that could be a tactical thing for them, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? You can't ever, all you can do is give someone a job.
They do. Well, maybe going forward, like we've got them again in a few weeks. Chances are.
And Mina will play, won't he?
Mina will play, yeah, but he'd still be in the same area.
No, but
so what they might have to do is part zonal, which is what a lot of clubs do. They'll have 3 in a zone.
No, I appreciate that. But the point being is, if Mina's in there, Mina might be able to deal with just in his zone. And that's. I just worry that you can't give some players
but that's license. That's why some teams go part.
No, I know.
Liverpool do part zonal now. Where they have 3 in a zone and 3 if it's Van Dijk, like he'd just go Mark Carroll, but they'd have people in the zone. So, well, it was like you say, it was a great volley from Shah. He finished it brilliantly, and you know it's 1-1, and that was the only time really in the game where I thought, are we gone? Because we'd had a couple of chances to kill it off, and we hadn't, and then you're thinking, are we going to wobble now? But you know what? I was calm.
They had another shot, didn't they? And it stung the keeper's hands. We brought on Delph, took Keane off, and that gave us the control back.
Yeah,
we got that control in the middle of the park. We pushed Davis over to the left. Richarlison went over to the right. We were a little bit, we were more narrow, weren't we? Because Walcott was still on the pitch at that point. Richarlison
He just went and played off Keane. Dom, didn't he? Which is filling in as a 10, but joining in when we're in out of possession, it's a 5, and in possession, it's a 2 or 4.
What Delph allowed us to do was he calmed it down, because if you look at the goal, the passing for the goal, and they're trying to press us, and the crowd are like, rah, rah, and we're just going ping, 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 and we're just looking to get through the press. And then we got through the press, and then that Williams, is it? He broke her up, came out, broke her up, but then we won it back instantly. Theo Walcott plays it to Richarlison. Richarlison gets down the wing, and it's great moving from Dom to go away from the ball rather than go to it. Lets the 2 defenders, and Richarlison finds it.
Brilliant ball.
And, you know...
The old corridor of uncertainty.
Exactly, and, you know, he did almost his best to miss it, or not get the cleanest of contacts.
He just misjudged it, didn't he?
And he got it. He put it in, and you know, 2-1. And for me, I'm loving the fact that he's having the goals and he looks a threat. And then from then on, all they really had was again the long ball to Andy Carroll. And apart from one moment where, you know, heart in your mouth moment with Sadivi for some reason puts his hands on Carroll. I've no idea whether you think it's a penalty or not. I've got no idea why you would do that in the box.
No,
it's a silly thing to do.
That'll get pulled up, won't it, by the manager?
Oh,
because that's cheap.
If that had been given as a penalty, I don't think I could have had any arguments with it.
I think he made the most of it. He was already fallen.
Carroll all day,
but it could have been given because you put your hands on anyone.
Carroll all day had been throwing himself around, hadn't he? And that might have gone against him in that particular moment. But the fact that I honestly thought it was going to go to VAR.
But then the referee, there was one in the first half with the thingy.
Dom got pushed.
So 2 hands on Mason now. After when the referee stopped him, he booked both of them. He shouldn't. It was a red card. Can't raise your hand. No, there was a foul. He shoved him.
There was a foul on Dom in the first half. Ball got played through. Dom run onto it.
No, it was a shove and that was a penalty.
He got pushed. It was the same. It was the same foul at Anfield, and the same foul at Goodison against Fulham.
It was a push. It was a penalty.
He pushed him. It's a foul.
There was a penalty, and the other one was a penalty. Was the double handball in the box in the second half off the corner. The lad had it's his hand, it's his head, it's his hand, and goes away. It was a penalty.
So apart from that, I thought we dealt with it really well.
They only really had one other shot, which Andy Carroll hit, which was straight at Pickett.
And the subs were magnificent, you know, just the
thing to bring Coleman on, because I was like, I don't know, but he put Coleman on and pushed Sidibe up. And just give us that extra bit of insurance. Sidibe's a lunatic. He's brilliant. Once you get forward, he's a unit. He's clever on the ball.
He can't defend.
I know.
We
haven't had the fullback.
No, I know. He can't defend. So that's fine.
There you go.
No, and then obviously taking Baines off and bringing Yerry Mina.
Which again was like, we were like, when you see Mina though, did you think, oh no?
There was little things of last year.
That's what came on. Like,
but then last year when we came on, and I know at the time, and you can sort of like make any situation favourable or unfavourable depending on the result. But last season when he brought him on, it was completely the wrong sub. The sub last season should have been Snarling. Shut down the midfield.
Which is what he did with Delph.
Yeah, shut down the midfield. But what he did as well, he didn't by bringing a defender off and switching Mason over, it didn't overcomplicate the situation.
Well, the thing was, Coleman's experienced enough to go and just do his job at right back. And Holgate's a good player, you know, he's quick and stuff, so he just went and sat in at left back. And then Mina just went and dealt with Carroll, didn't he? So, even though I was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure, he knows what he's doing. So you can't just go, well, all right then.
But it was more like for like, wasn't it? It was more like for like. You know, you take Walcott off, push the DB up, and have Coleman on it. And it just felt like it was more like for like, rather than overstuffing our defence and allowing them to push up.
3 centre backs, did he?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He didn't say, oh, we're going with 5 at the back. He just he went, well, I need Mina on there because to deal with the height, because that's all. He
knew what was going on.
Respond to the situation. And I know a lot of people before him were like, all right, I need to get Keane off and bring Mina on. But the manager's got to assess the physical limitations of his players, and again, that's a smart thing. You can't.
Another game in midweek, you've got to look at the whole picture, haven't you? And Mina could go on and play 10 minutes or whatever it was. That's fine. Go and get yourself in the way of things. Protect what we had. And going up there, I was just thinking, well, you know, a win would be fantastic. A draw's a decent result because they have only lost, you know, once at home and 2 days after playing, but. Yeah. When we were in front, what was the big thing? And this has changed a little bit. You know, I'd even take it back again to like Leicester game in the cup when we were 2 down, we got it back. That little ability to come back and have even when you're wobbling to be able to go, no, we're still in this game, rather than throwing your hand in and going, oh my God, which could have happened and would have happened. We'd have wilted 6 weeks ago.
Losing a couple of goals
when
quickly.
It went 1-1 at Newcastle, we'd have wilted 6 weeks ago. We would have. We'd have lost that game 2 or 3-1 because we'd have just threw our hand in. And we didn't. We were able to get control of it, got back in front, and then controlled it. Could have killed it off, could have made it 3. We had the breakaway with Richarlison and he played the wrong ball. So he had to go early to Walcott, he hesitated. And there was little moments like that. You know, but ultimately, it was we calmed everything down and, you know, we won the game professionally, which was a big thing to do. And like I said,
just sometimes you just need a bit of nerve.
But it's confidence, though. Yeah. It's confidence now. Now you can go, well, you know what, we went to Newcastle, they equalised, crowd behind them, and we still won the game. You know, we were 2 down against Leicester, who were a good side. We got it back to 2-2. We're not out of games. You know, we were winning at United, we got pegged back. We can do it now on the road. You know, we can go and do it. Won at Southampton, okay. Leicester was a decent, would have been a decent, well, it would have been a good point. We robbed.
And I know, even though it was under Silva, we scored goals at Anfield.
We could have ended up with 5 at Anfield. That was the attacking. They were just defensively, we were horrible. So there's good players here, and if you put confidence and it's clear, and Delph, we just listened to Delph's interview before. We're organised now. We know where we should be. You know, and if you put organisation, what we said for ages, put organisation into the team and make good players work.
The good news is listen, he'll have a couple of more days to look at the City game. And obviously, looking at the City game, you're looking ahead to the Liverpool game. And then you've got a week. And then you've got another week. And then you've got the midweek game against Newcastle again. And then you've got a week and a half till the following game because of the break. So, they're not after this week, they won't be coming as thick and fast. And hopefully that gives us tactically for him every game, more time on the training field. Getting players back as well, which is another massive thing.
Well, don't forget, he spoke about bringing players in. I'm not going to talk till after the Liverpool game about that. He said that 3 times now. Need to get these games out the way, and then we'll look at who we can bring in. But secondly, the more results you get, like the weekend and what you've got with it, the players can't wait to get back on the training ground, and we're winning. This manager's great.
I suppose that's what's really helped, hasn't it? It's like, when you look at it from that point of view, if you have got a couple of the games in 3 days and you do win them, and everything just suddenly looks so much different.
What did everyone say going into December? And you're like, yeah, but you don't know how results are going to play out, and people are like, we won't get any. I've seen people saying no points in December.
Well, I said 10, didn't I? I actually said.
I said 11, didn't I? But because I thought we'd beat Arsenal.
I said if we can get 10 in December,
we've done
and I didn't think there was any reason why we couldn't get 10. Then I thought we'll be all right. And that was probably still under Silva, and we've got 11, and I think we're only 2 points worse off than we were this time last year.
And people were talking about us top 6,
and
even though we'd had the wobble.
I think we were 10th this time last year as well. And obviously December wasn't kind to us, and then January wasn't particularly kind to us either. So there's still an opportunity. And
we've had the best Christmas for ages. We've had this.
I mean, is that an actual stat? We've had the best Christmas for ages. Is that just the stat? Well, I mean, that's the kind of stat that we pull out here on Toffee.
What I'm saying is, we've took 7 points out of 9 off 3 Christmas games. We never do that.
Best Christmas for ages. For age. Put that
on a t-shirt.
Put it
on a quote. But but we have, haven't we? We don't win games over Christmas, and we've had, I said we'd get 11 points, but I had us beating Arsenal and draw them at Newcastle. And it's just fun. It just shows you can't work out points, can you? Because, but listen, we're 10th with 25
But
points.
even the Arsenal game, when people were like, some people would cry Arsenal after the Arsenal game. So it's like when we played Tottenham, and it was, and I was like, what? Under the circumstances, it wasn't the worst point in the world. No. Because of everything that happened during the game.
It's because of everything that's gone before.
No, I know, and it's the same.
You do have to just
and there's been loads of them this season in the Brighton game where if we just got a point and you can cry it in afterwards about penalties that shouldn't have been or whatever. But there are games where you just go, you know what, we should get a point today and come back another game. Wolves are doing magnificent out of that. Sheffield United even are doing all right out of that.
If you look now, if you just take the penalties out of it, it's 6 games unbeaten, isn't it? Which coming out of Anfield, if you'd have gone, well, the next half a dozen games you're not losing. Everyone, you'd be like that now, mate. You'd have no hand left because people coming out of Anfield would have gone, oh my God, I don't know where our next point's coming from. And you're looking and going,
it's mad. And we wouldn't have Carlo Magnifico.
Yeah.
Right, one player who's been obviously magnificent for the last 6 weeks, if not longer, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Let's have a look at some of his numbers. 46 touches, goals 2, shots 4, on target 3. I mean, there's the difference right there. Shots 4, on target 3. He's taking more shots on. He's taking more responsibility. He's loving the fact that he's Everton's number 9. Duncan, obviously, when we spoke to him, I think one of the things, wasn't it, was
he loves him.
He loves him, and maybe wasn't working with him every day like he had been previously.
Any day, apart from having to pick up pieces when other people were ruining sessions.
Yeah. But obviously he loves the lad and understands. And Carlo Ancelotti, like you said before, has already said, filling him with confidence because understand. And Carlo Ancelotti's come on and said, I'm not buying a striker. Why would I when I've got these two, and the ass. Tolson's definitely going, isn't he, by the way? Tolson is already going.
They said Tolson's really good.
Yeah, of course he did. What language?
Calvert-Lewin, Moyes Keane, Richarlison, and Chen Tolson's really good.
Yeah. And what's that fella's name? What's his name? Oh, Chen, okay, nice one. No, but straight away, listen, we've seen it as soon as Duncan come in, the aggression. The difference is the aggression, and the difference is putting players in and around them, and just giving them the confidence. And Dom strikes me as a player who goes on the training pitch every day, and I bet everything is just immaculate. I bet he's smashing goals in for fun, and then for some reason, when he was coming on the pitch, it just wasn't working. And I get that feeling about him. He just looks like that kind of person.
He's had 16 shots in the last 3 games.
And I think that's the difference,
which
though.
Which is massive.
I think
one of one.
But I think that's the big reason as well, though. One of the big reasons I think is if you give someone the confidence and say, this will not be your only chance in the game, so you don't need to snatch at it. And I think that's a big thing. I think that's where we've started making more chances. And so
I'd said for ages he should have a target of 5 shots a game. I don't care if he's had a couple where he's pinched the ball and it's his first time for him, and 30, 40 yards out, and all right, he hasn't scored, but that's confident. That's like, I'm testing you from here. And, I think he's got all the attributes to be a top striker. He's quick, he's unbelievable in the air. He likes to get, when he shows that aggression, he works hard. And the only thing I've criticised him on is not being in the right areas. And now he's getting in the right areas and he's rewarded with goals. So
successful passes 19, successful attacking third passes 13, chances created 5. I mean, that's massive. Pass accuracy 70. But I suppose
Burnley away, passing accuracy 13% or something.
No, but it's hard to find a pass when the nearest player to you is 40 yards away.
No, but I'm saying to you, I think that Burnley thing, you think he touched the ball 17 times, his passing percentage was 12% or something, 13%, no shots. And then 2 months later he's having 6 shots in a game or whatever, 70% passing accuracy.
But I think number one, we're getting more plays round them, which is helping him. We're getting more plays into the box.
He's getting into the box.
No, I know, but the reason why he's getting into the box is because he can get in the box, because he's not now a back-to-goal striker who's got to fetch and carry for everybody else.
He isn't, and that's what Ancelotti was saying the other day. You've got to be more selfish. Get yourself into the areas, because ultimately he will be judged on goals, nothing
We're getting
else.
the ball ahead of him now. Don't forget, this is a player that under Marco Silva, his average position when he's playing up front was deeper than Sigurdsson.
I know.
And so therefore that means we're getting the ball ahead of him and asking him to run onto it. And he's making those clever runs now. He's peeling off. Yeah. And because you ain't going to catch him. We've said this for ages. He's quick. He's strong. You could wash a t-shirt on his abs. So he's obviously, he's obviously very, very fit as well.
I think his upbringing, he's a Yorkshire lad, which is, Yorkshire, on Dales and all that. No, but
I'm interested to see where this is going.
Hard work,
okay,
good ethic, good thing. No, but it is. Look at Holgate and stuff. Yeah. Very like down to earth.
Yeah,
gonna work hard. Fabian Delph, another one. It's that grounding of like, and you see him and he's talking about like wanting to work hard every single day. Some of his clothes are unbelievable. When he's outlandish and all that in that way. But you don't hear anything about him.
He's no Tom Davis, but...
No, exactly. He's trying to get there. But you don't really hear anything. He just gets his head down and works hard. He wants to do well for Everton, and that's what you want. You don't want people who have that arrogance of like, fucking James Maddison types. You want the lad who's going to be working hard every day in training ground. I don't know why any Evertonian wouldn't want him to be the best he can be, because you want players like that at your club, so you can hold them up as an example. He's been amazing.
He has. That's
the last half a dozen games. Certainly since Duncan's come in, he's been fantastic for us. He really has. Don't forget, this is a kid that came off the bench at Brighton, scored a lovely little goal and was in and out the side, and rightly so.
Well, I mentioned as well on my instant match reaction was like when he pinched the goal against Man City.
Yeah,
and people were criticising him for it. It was like, no, that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want from your centre forward. That's what you want from your number 9.
Would Ronaldo do it? Of course he would, which is why he goes 40, 50.
I seen something the other day. What was it, Tom? Oh, it was Carragher saying about when Kane first come through, and he said every time Tottenham scored, I wanted it to be Kane. And he said the same about Dom. He said I want it to be Dom. Yeah. He said every time Everton scored, I want it to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin now.
Well, that's what you want, because you want to almost be... When Liverpool score, you go Mane or Salah. Yeah. I know Firmino gets a lot, but they're the main people, aren't they? Man City, you go Aguero, or if it's Jesus playing, Leicester, Jamie Vardy, Chelsea, Tammy Abraham, who's been flying this season. You want Dom to be getting on the end of them things. The more goals he scores like he did against City, I'd be delighted.
Ariel Jules 1.
Christmas hat in the way.
7. Sorry, Christmas hat in the way. 7. Yeah. There's a graphic on the screen.
Yeah.
Recoveries 2, fouls suffered 2. I mean, again, Ariel Jules 7. He's so good in the air. He just hangs up there. And he's also very, very clever when he gets up there. He always seems to he gets up there and just has a little look around, and always gets a lovely little cushion.
That's what when people talk about him like Graham Sharp, that's what's really similar to Graham Sharp, is that bit ability to hang. You see Sharp would almost head it on his way down.
Yeah.
He'd jump, and as he's coming down, he'd just hang and like guide it off to people, and that's what he's doing now. And again, how good was Duncan in the air, and he's working with him, and that's what it's about. Now, I think the big thing for me is he should score more headers. He's that good, so that tells me our balls into the box have to be better.
He always seems to, I don't know, he always seems to not. He always doesn't get high enough, does he?
No,
when he's in the air.
But no, I'm delighted. He's scoring goals, because, listen, if you can get him, he's on 9 for the season now, isn't he? In all competitions. I think he's
scored more goals this season than he did last season.
He's got 7 Premier League goals and the 2 at Sheffield Wednesday in the cup. So he's almost into double figures already, and it's December, which is incredible. I mean, it's not incredible, but it's good, very good for him. If we can keep that going, then he saves you. We're all looking for this centre forward that can get 15, 20 goals from Europe or anywhere. Well, if he can start being that, we've got a 22-year-old lad who's loves the fact he's number 9 at Everton, loves Everton, loves Tom Davies, loves Mason Holgate. They're all in it together. It's what you want.
I think that's quite interesting, that though, what you've just said there about using a word like that is that I don't know how many fans, like you said before, there's too many. We're always looking for the next thing or the big thing, and we're so dismissive of young players. And again, this is sort of like something we've said for a while on this channel, is these players grow up in the spotlight and they'll have bad games and good games. Now he's in a good little rich vein of form at the moment, and you know what, he'll have a bit where he won't be. Of
course he will.
But it's about people sticking with him, and I think it's so important that the manager's coming out with comments. Like, sometimes people can go too far with comments. Martin has said certain things about Ross Barkley which become unbelievable, so you sort of question the manager. But when a manager like Ancelotti comes out and says, this kid can be as good as he wants, he can be good enough, he's good enough, could be good enough for England, could be good enough for, Champions League football, or whatever, that what he's doing is he's looking at the situation and going, he's the reason he scored 3 goals in 2 games for me. I've seen him in training, I know how hard he works, and but what I want that to cross over to the fans. I want to see kids wearing Calvert-Lewin 9 shirts. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's far too many people. Mason Holgate and Tom Davies are in exactly the same boat. Mason Holgate has been written off loads of times. He's not good enough. Without people understanding that, he's actually not going to be the finished article without games of football. And he started getting games of football this year. Tom Davies, like you said before, Carlo Ancelotti hasn't come in and gone, you're not good enough for me. He's played him in one of his games, and then
brought him on a sub in the other.
Yeah, and didn't take him off in that game either. Moved him into another position and said, I can trust you in that position. Duncan played him in different positions. Now, whether you think ultimately he is good enough for Everton, we'll have to wait and see. But all 3 of them have illustrated that they're versatile, they're prepared to work hard, they're prepared to knuckle that. All 3 of them, I think, love Everton and just all want to do well, all want to be professional footballers, and all want to do really well. And now, like we said before, they're suddenly working for this top manager, and it's like all their Christmases have come. And that's all I want to see, is people
giving them that respect.
I want to see people wearing Dominic Calvert-Lewin shirts and wearing Holgate shirts and wearing Tom Davies shirts or whatever, or just simply going, stop. I had some lad DM'd me the other week after one of our games going, why'd you keep backing Dominic Tom Davies? He's crap. He lost. What game was that? I don't know.
Leicester, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Leicester game. And he said, he lost us that game. I was like, he didn't lose us the game at all. It's just like, why can't people just let players be players? We've had enough dross that have come from other clubs that were these young hopefuls. We have players like Lookman, who did nothing in training and was lazy.
Nothing in matches.
And was lazy. So I seen a blog by a Sheffield United Stato or whatever. He was like, Dom was brilliant for us. And it was, this shows you can pay a couple of £1 million for someone and you give them confidence and you play them and you play them and you play them and you get there. And he's like, didn't you have someone else who was like, you bought from Charlton at the same time? He's like, yeah, whoever he's done, doesn't play. Yeah, he's gone away now. He's playing in Germany. He's like, oh.
And yeah, fans wanted to give him more benefit of the doubt.
Because he was this unseen thing that you didn't see. So somehow you were like,
he's better.
He's better. And it's like, instead of these people, this lad deserves it. No, why? Because you look at him, and like I said before, you look at him and you think to yourself, me, look at him. He's immaculate. He's immaculate. No, he might have that washboard stomach for vanity reasons, or he might have it because he just thinks, I've got to be as fit as I can, because if there's two strikers and I'm one of them and I'm fitter than him, that might give me the edge on him. And that's...
Then it comes down to the desire to work hard. We give Sandro 120 grand a week. He's on nowhere near that. Who would you rather have? You know, a lad who, and that's not having a go at Sandro per se, it's just saying people will probably be more interested in Sandro doing well than him. Yeah. Some people, because it's a new thing.
It's like when he got the number 9 shirt, it was like people losing their heads over him. It's like, our last 2 number 9s were Sandro and Kone, and you're losing your mind over a kid.
I think people just want to. That is a different
issue. No, but that's the point though. That's the point though, isn't it? It's want. Yeah. It's always wanting when you've actually
we've got to, listen, like I said right at the very start of this, I think, I said Carlo Ancelotti can't be questioned by fans. Fans don't know more than Carlo Ancelotti. They don't, because he's won everything and he's been at the top of his game for however long, and he's on about 9 million a year, so he must be all right. If he thinks he's one of the top strikers, that ends the conversation. It ends people criticizing. You can still go, I don't really like him. That's up to you. If you don't, I'm not telling people who you should like. If you think there's better strikers, that's fine, but don't level he's crap, because he's not. Same as Tom Davis.
He's a championship player who should go on loan. Yeah, I mean, how many times have we heard that? And it's like, what? For what reason? When he actually... And do you know what?
Plays in our team.
When it's someone like Tammy Abrams, I fully understood that, because he was a player who never got anything at Chelsea, and he had all these amazing players ahead of him. This was a kid who was playing, and it's the same with Tom Davis now. He's a vital squad player, as is Mason Holgate. In fact, Mason Holgate's more than a vital squad player. He's a first team. No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Tom's still battling to be that.
Tom's battling because he's playing in a position where actually nowadays his size and his frame doesn't actually suit that position anymore. And that's going to be
he'd need someone dominating.
Yeah, that's the difficult part for Tom, and I appreciate that. But I'm still never going to write him off just because...
We need squad players.
Exactly.
To have a good... Liverpool have it with certain players. You need a squad player. To do well, you need players who can come in. We had it with our best team in the 80s. Yeah. Richardson and Harper, they were good players. But the minute everyone was fit, they were the first ones back.
But the irony is, we've gone out and we've bought players
who aren't as good as Sam
Davis. No, there might be players who we've bought who are better. But but what I'm going to say is that they simply haven't adapted, and they have not been able to cope with the demands of the Premier League.
No, that's what I mean. When I say, I don't mean technically or whatever, but what we need a squad of players, 20, 22 players, and it'll take 3 or 4 lads who are coming through who will fill in and do, and then it's up to them.
But what I love about it is these young players are going to drive us through.
We've bemoaned other clubs having these youngsters that have come through and played for them for years. Yeah. But if you listen to Liverpool fans when Carragher got in, for years he wasn't good. He's crap. He's not good enough. Then he went centre back, and then was one of their best ever centre backs probably for what he did for them and stuff he won. So you've got to just let players grow into position. We've got a world class manager. If he thinks Tom Davis is good enough, then he's good enough. Yeah. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Shame.
And if he isn't. But that's still no need to abuse these players.
Just back them.
Anyway.
If you can.
Richarlison.
Yeah.
He's boss.
What a player.
He's boss, isn't he?
What a player.
The last 2 games, technically, have not been his best games of football.
No.
But, my God, does he work his bollocks off?
Just.
But I thought he was going to get all upset and leave the club after...
But he's another one though, isn't he? He's worked with Marco Silva, who he really likes. Marco Silva's a lovely fella by all accounts. Players like them and all that. Doesn't mean he's a world-class manager. Doesn't mean he's a crap manager. Just means at this moment he isn't ready for Everton Football Club. But now he's working under one of the greatest coaches ever. Yeah. So, yeah, all right, I might have been a bit disappointed that you're me mate. You know, I really liked you and you've left the club. But this fella's coming, he's won everything, and he's going to help me get better. And the thing with him is, he gives his all every time he steps onto a pitch.
He's amazing. Touches 54, assists 1, obviously, for the second goal. Shots 3, 2 on target again. I think that's massive. It's actually having an influence on the game. Successful passes 18, a successful final third. Passes 11, chances created 3, pass accuracy 60%. Which, yeah, I mean, it's again, he tries the danger stuff all the time. Recoveries 5, successful tackles 3, clearances 3, successful dribbles. I think that says 3.
2.
Okay, 2.
Yeah. But he's getting the ball back.
His hard work is just ridiculous. There was one. It was in the second half, I think. Was it in the second half? He had the ball on the right-hand side, and he cut inside, and his persistence allowed him to beat 3 players and win a foul, I think. And it's just, I'll tell you what I have noticed about him as well, in the last 6 weeks, is he's a little bit more clever about when he goes down now.
Yeah.
He started using his head a little bit more, and he stays on his feet till he needs to.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's, maybe, I don't know whether there's less frustration around in him, and that's what was sending him down earlier or what, but I just feel like...
Experience as well, though.
I know, but it's come like that.
No, but well, you're there. I mean, after Tottenham, the manager did come out and say, we are speaking to him, and then if Duncan's had a word with them and said, listen, you'll get them, but stay up, and he's done it himself.
But the graft, and it's not only the graft, it's the versatility as well. The ability to move around the pitch is just phenomenal. Fantastic. And he allows
£100 million player.
He allows other players to get space, and the setup for the goal is just, they can't get near him.
No, he doesn't do that enough.
No, I know.
Doesn't create enough goals.
And he gets into a lovely area. He puts the ball into a lovely area, and Dom's on the end of it. But he's just so hard to handle.
Yeah.
And he doesn't
know when he's beaten, does
he? He doesn't. And I love the bones of him.
Yeah.
And he's one. I'm made up. We managed to get that contract sorted. Just
protect us.
Yeah.
I think the thing with him as well is that I think he knows. He accepts where he is. He knows what he is. He knows that he's at a big club, wanting to do better. He's well paid now, and I don't think he's one of those who's in a rush to.
Well, as we said,
and if he is, he's £100 million.
But as we said, and
he's not going anywhere near the likes of United. No, that's not a step up.
As we said before, with someone like Ancelotti, for those players now, they'll be thinking
a pathway, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd be thinking, let's just give this
a couple of years
and see where it goes. This fella could give us what we need.
But he's playing for Brazil.
Yeah.
He's playing the Premier League. Yeah. We're now doing better. We've got a manager that people are talking about. A lot of people still going, I can't believe you, Everton have got him. Which shows you how well respected he is now. We follow that up and continue to improve. These players will look and go, like we said before, I'm staying here with him. I'm working for Carlo Ancelotti.
And who knows? I know it's only been a couple of games, but the table's looking a lot rosier now, thanks to Duncan and Carlo Ancelotti. Table's looking a lot rosier. 25 points. Sorry, I'm all over. 18 games to go, is it?
18, play 20.
I'm all over the gaff. Don't even know what day it is. 18 games to go, and let's see what happens.
5 wins.
What? 5 wins. Are we still on the... I actually think it'll be more than 40 points to stay up this year, by the way. I'm starting to think that way, but I don't know.
I look at Norwich and Villa and think, you're not getting 35.
I think Villa might have another win than them, but Watford have showed, haven't you? West Ham just got the Mosiah. So, no, listen, we should be... When you look at the points above us...
4 points off Europe.
And that's the way we should be looking.
And that's how you have to look at it. And listen, we might not get there, but that's got to be the aim.
Listen, we can't sit here and be,
No, but what I've said all along, even in like November under Silver and stuff like that, if we can get to January and February and just be a couple of wins off Europe, then that's all right because it gives you that goal to chase. Now, you might make that point up, but and the only reason will be because we had such a horrific start, really. We wasted so many games with indecision and, all right, we were unlucky with certain games with VAR, but to be, if we keep ourselves in this pack now, which is chasing those European places, then why not?
No.
You know, we've just come through what is a unbelievably difficult set of fixtures, and we're unbeaten in it. Well, after Liverpool, obviously. The rest were difficult. But why not? Let's we chase it.
Well, let's just enjoy the ride for now.
We've got to lose games. He hasn't got a full complement of players. He hasn't got a team he wants, he fully wants yet. So it'll be ups and downs, but as long as we can see where we're going.
Yeah, and I think...
And that calmness stage
will
be
and
all
I think, right. And the other thing about it is that as a fan base, I think, let's just, of course, let's enjoy it. Let's stick with it. Stick with it, enjoy it, appreciate the players, support the players that are out there. And that, what more can you do? He'll weird out.
Yeah,
he'll weird out the bad players, or he'll make them better. And it's one of them, isn't it? And now this is one of those where beforehand where you go, whoever the coach was, whether it be Silver or whoever, where you go look at it and go, yeah, I'm not sure he can make him a better player. Now you go, I think Carlo Ancelotti could make some of these players better. And if they don't become better, then that's on them. So there's no reason why someone like Michael Keane for the next 5 months can't become a better player under the guidance of Carlo Ancelotti. And if he doesn't, then he'll be gone. He'll be out the door and we'll buy someone better. And that's the way you got to look at it now. And it's the same with everyone at the club. Everyone at the club now should be looking at going, fighting for their place now, whether it be a Sigurdsson, a Schneidlin, a Delph, a Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Every single one of them now should be fighting for their place, thinking, I've got to be better than I am right now because he'll go and find someone better. And I want to be here. I want to be at Everton. This is exciting.
Seeing it with Pickford's performance, the difference from March or April, whenever it was, to his performance on Saturday, not getting involved with the crowd, not doing that. He's come out and said himself, he just didn't, he heard all the abuse, but he just let it go because he wanted to stay his head in the game and all that. Much more mature performance. We win the game, not
focused, professional.
Focused, we win the game. He'll have to do that under Ancelotti. So I think the fan, like I said before, the fans will back it because there's no reason not to. He's a world-class manager, so you have to trust him. And his song's amazing.
Song.
And another stat, very quickly, not on him, but it's the first time an Everton player has scored the winner in 2 consecutive games since 1991.
Tony Cottee.
The last time. The same Everton, which is berserk. Think how long ago that was. We haven't had the player who scored the winner in 2 games running. There you go. And it was Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, so there you go.
There's a little
big Dom. You got a share for Christmas with no name? Get Dom on the back of it.
Just back him.
Yeah.
Back the whole thing because this is as good as we've had it for a while. And what I mean by that, I'm not getting carried away because we've won 2 games because it's been with Duncan as well. It's been half a dozen much better than what we had. But what I mean is we've got money. We've got a grand application gone in. We've got some great young players. People like Richarlison, fantastic. Great players like Bernard in the squad and all that. But we've got a world-class manager who's big enough to front the football club up and take it on a journey. And we have to just back it because otherwise what are we going to do?
Don't find things to moan about.
Just go with it and see what happens.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments anyway on this game.
6 points out of 6. But 6 unbeaten is the big one,
yeah,
isn't it?
That's it. That's the main thing, isn't it? If you haven't already subscribed, please do. What is stopping you? Please press the subscribe button.
Bink. Done.
Like click the bell for alerts so you know exactly when videos are coming up. Give this video a like as well. Because we like that as well. And if you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.
Happy New Year.